اگر خواهرای محترم لطف بکنن بفرمایید بنشینن که ما برنامه رو شروع کنیم، خیلی متشکر میشم. My sisters, if I kindly ask you to please go ahead and have a seat so we can go ahead and start the program so we don't delay everybody. Tomorrow I know it's working day. We are honored to have you all with us tonight. And tonight is going to be our third and last night of Fatimiyya program. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have accepted our deeds and our lamentations and our work that we have done in these very holy nights. Tonight we're going to start the program with the recitation of the Holy Quran by Dr. Mahmoud Turabinejad, inshallah, for about 6-7 minutes. And then we are having one of our, well, she's my favorite speaker, one of my favorite speakers. We have Arzu here tonight that we're going to hear from her, inshallah. And then we would hear from our honorable brother Razabian, inshallah. And at the end, of course, we're going to have lamentation. We try to make it as short as possible so we can leave on time. We usually finish at 9, but because of the little changes and some additional things, we might spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes at the most at the end. But before I invite our Quran reciter Dr. Turabinejad, to the podium, I repeat one thing that I've said, and I humbly ask everybody to please, especially the sisters who sit in the back, to be, exercising the absolute silence in this room. Those of us who we haven't seen each other for a while, we have a meeting room. Actually, they can go there and they can chat, they can talk to each other. But in this hall, we try to make it as silent as possible. Why? Because a lot of people come from very far ways and they try to benefit from these nights. And these nights are so holy that we should not even waste a minute of it. به هر حال دوستان محترم، ضمن عرض خیر مقدم به همه شما و تشکر از اینکه این چند روز با ما بودید، در منزل خودتون، در مسجد خودتون تشریف آوردید. خداوند انشالله در این شبها به شما عزیزان اجرش رو کامل بده. انشالله آمدید، زحمت کشیدید، انشالله خود امام زمان هم از شما قدردانی میکنه. فقط 2 نکته خواستم خدمتتون عرض بکنم قبل از اینکه عزیزان رو دعوت کنم برای قرائتشون و صحبتاشون. دوستان عزیز خیلی ها شکایت میکنن که ما خوب نمیشنویم، خیلی ها صحبت میکنن و بنده خواهش میکنم، خاضعانه خواهش میکنم که هر جا که هستید اگر دوست دارید با دوستاتون صحبت کنید خیلی خوبه، چیز خیلی خوبیه. اما یک میتینگ روم داریم اونجا، میتونید اونجا تشریف ببرید و صحبتاتون رو بکنید انشالله کامل خوب. وقتی که تشریف بردید اینجا خواهش میکنم ساکت بشید که انشالله همه بتونن استفاده کامل ببرن. به هر حال وقت عزیزان بیشتر نگیرم، کسانی هم که میخوان کمک کنن به مسجد برای این 3-4 شبی که اینجا بودیم، میدونید خرجای ما غیر از غذا دادن چیز دیگه هم زیاد هست. Other than the dinners that I really would like to thank all of those of you who contributed for the dinners these nights, but we still have some more expenses. Actually, we're a little bit behind of these 3 nights. There are a lot of expenses involved. If you would like to, please help us out to, inshallah, continue our programs, and we can invite other people, inshallah, to join us more and more. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Turabinejad for his recitation of the Holy Quran. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد وصب عليهم ربك صوت عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد وأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي ويومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر وصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you very much, Dr. Turabinijad. May Allah protect you and bless you, inshallah. This moment I would like to actually ask everybody to recite Surah Al-Fatiha for the souls of our community members who passed away from us, plus those young men or actually all of you who have supported for the dinners and other expenses of these few nights that we had. They asked me not to mention any names but Allah knows, of course, the names, and inshallah we'll recite Surah Al-Fatiha for their soul, preceded by salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Now I would like to invite our dear Arzuyu Asai. We have her here, yes, she's right here. Okay, please invite her to the podium with the salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim ولا الضالين. Sure. I just wanted to start with a prayer for those who lost their life in the helicopter crash. Being a basketball player, I got lots of messages giving me condolences for Kobe Bryant passing. I thought this was interesting because we expect people to die in Syria or in Palestine or in Iraq, in different places in the world where there's a lot of suffering and war. But when it comes to healthy individuals, celebrities, it shocks us when they die, as if it's not supposed to happen to them. So then I turn to the Quran, and the Quran reminds me that we will all taste death. That if you're running away, you will not profit if you're running away from death. And specifically, in this scenario, 478 says, wherever you are, death will overtake you, even in lofty towers. I think we think that if we're wealthy or successful, somehow death can't touch us. And I think we view death in a way that's negative. That's a bad thing. So today, on a day where we're reflecting on the death of Hazrat Fatima, I wanted to learn something from her life and from her death that we don't always focus on. And so the story that I want to remind you of, and then just spend a few moments talking about, is the story of when the Prophet, peace be upon him, was passing away. And he told her to come near him, and he whispered in her ear something that made her cry. And then again, something in her ear that made her smile. When she was asked what he had whispered at first, she said that he was going to pass away soon. So it made her sad. But when asked what he whispered the second time, she said that I would be the first of his family to meet him. And so she smiled. And so I'd like to comment on the fact that how she viewed death was with a smile, and why that is. So I just wanted to start by reading something brief I've written about death. We are an everlasting spirit, molded from the breath of God. Our bodies are vehicles, but not who we actually are. Our bodies are made of clay, and this earth is the oven in which we are baked and glazed into divine pottery. The earth is not our home, but a cocoon, a gestation period where we are molded into who we were written to become. Death is not an end. It is a transition, a metamorphosis in which we undress our caterpillar bodies to unveil our everlasting butterfly spirits. Everything living begins with a death, a loss, or a sacrifice. It is in the compost of death that life grows and evolves. The cocoon must be torn for the butterfly to emerge, and the seed must split before a tree can sprout. Life is dying to evolve. Death is a bridge that leads to the evolution of our consciousness. For as Allah says, what is to come is better than what has gone by. If you tell a baby in the darkness of the womb that there is a world of light, mountains, seas, and stars, it will find it hard to believe. Just like that baby, our understanding of reality is limited to what we have experienced in the womb of Mother Earth. And just like a baby, we too must one day leave the womb of this world for a different reality. Our bodies will one day die, but our spirits will continue living. Death is not an end, but a means to a God who has no end. We are not stones. We are seeds. We are not buried when we die. We are planted to rise in another time. Our life is a blink of an eye, and the Quran responds to this, or refers to this by saying, it will be on the day they see it as though they had not remained in the world except for an afternoon or a morning thereof. 79:46. What I found interesting about this verse and the one following it later, which says, he who created death and life to test you as to which of you is best indeed, and he is exalted in might and the forgiving, is that Allah refers to death before he refers to life. And the mystics say that death comes before life in this verse as a reminder that real life does not begin until we return to Allah for the eternal life. And so, when I reflect on the story of Hazrat Fatima, I think about how she smiled in the face of death because she didn't see it as an end, but a return to her Creator. I think oftentimes when people die, and recently in the news we hear that it's very tragic, that they had more life to live, that they had more to do on this earth. In a way, it's true if we're standing on the earth. But if our eyes are on the afterlife, it's like a wave returning to the ocean, like a raindrop falling from a cloud back into the sea. We are returning to our origin. You know, a friend of mine recently is going on a trip to Costa Rica, and so the teachers have sent her a list of things that she should buy for her trip. And so every day she's preparing. Every day she's buying something new, mosquito repellent, particular type of bag, particular type of food. And she's preparing for her trip. She's excited for her trip. And I think oftentimes we forget that we're all just preparing for a trip back to Allah. That this is the vacation, and we're returning home. And so there are things that Allah is calling us to prepare and return to Him. And I think that we can talk about the story of Fatima Zahra, but I learned so much from her in her death, because I believe her death was the fertile soil that created children like Imam Hussein, Imam Hassan, Zainab, Kulthum. We view her death as horrible, and it was unjust. But when we look at the Quran, when we look at the stories of the prophets, all of their stories reflect trials. Sometimes I think that one of my friends, she told me that I bet the family members of the victims of this helicopter crash are so beloved to God. And I remember thinking, that's a weird version of the story. And most people are like, man, that's horrible. She's like, God must really see something in that. And I asked her why, and she said, because that is a big burden to carry. And Allah only gives a burden to you if He knows you can carry it, so they must be strong. Some of us in this audience have lost parents, children, grandparents. It's a horrible feeling. But to think that God saw you worthy of that burden because He wanted to unveil something in you, there's a sweetness in that. And when we think of the prophets, when we think of Prophet Joseph, that Allah loved him so much that He had his brothers throw him in a well. That Allah loved him so much that He pulled him out of the well and made him a slave. That Allah loved him so much He took him from a nice house and put him in a prison. That Allah loved him so much that He made the person He told to tell the king that he could read dreams forget so he could stay in prison longer. But we know that it didn't end there. The way I see Joseph's story is he went from a prison to a palace. And only Allah could do that. What about the story of Noah? For 900-something years, he's building a boat in a desert. But then the flood comes. Allah teaches him true patience through the waiting. What about the story of Maryam? You know, the story of Maryam relates to the story of Fatima Zahra. Because Maryam's grasping that tree with a pain in her womb that's unbelievable, but it's in that labor pain that she births the light of the Prophet Jesus. And Fatima Zahra, she also had a baby in her womb. That baby may not have survived, but what happened to her created the likes that led to Karbala. She too birthed the revolution in a spiritual way. I just want to call us to reflect on our lives in a different way. You know, when farmers plant, they use dead things to create fertilizer, to create rich, fertile soil. So I call us all to think about the things that have happened to us as a motivation to create something new in us. Fatima Zahra's story to me is not one in the past, one we can't relate to. But without her and her story, none of us would be here. So I just want to call you to reflect on the circumstances that Allah has put you in to create who you are, to do the work that He's called for you to do. Rumi says, what is this competition we feel when we are all entering through the same gate? In other words, what's happened to each of us, we may never understand the pain that someone went through losing a father or a mother or a child at a young or old age. But we must believe that Allah did that intentionally for us to become a certain kind of soft that doesn't happen without things like that. One teacher said, some of the things that Allah does agitates us. It creates friction in us. But she said, that's okay. Because it's friction and agitation that cleans clothes in the wash. So now whenever I look at laundry, I think about it differently. So maybe Allah is cleaning our souls in a way that only He could know. Because He only knows what we're capable of. Sometimes I feel like my math and God's math is a little different. I'm like, I can only carry this much. And He puts a weight on me that I can't believe, to the point of destruction. Which reminds us, well, many people have heard the metaphor of caterpillars becoming butterflies. But one thing we often don't talk about is the fact that when a caterpillar is in a cocoon, the cocoon suffocates it. Through a process called liquidification, it literally drips liquid. This dark liquid, it literally melts the caterpillar inside. So sometimes maybe Allah's melting something that's surrounding us to unveil that butterfly inside. And through the story of Jesus, we know that Maryam, we know that there's a pain attributed with birthing Jesus. And the mystics say every single one of us has a Jesus inside, a pure soul wanting to be birthed into this reality. To not take too much time, I just want to go through a process with you. It's very short. But for this part, I would like you to close your eyes. I'm watching you guys. Okay, everybody close your eyes. Imagine that you are taking your final breaths of earthly life. Notice what comes up for you. Do you have any regrets in the moment? Do you wish you would have spent your time and resources differently? What risks do you regret not taking? Is there something you wish you would have said to someone you love? How could you have showed up differently with your loved ones? What amends would you like to have made? What dreams would you have pursued? What would you have wanted to say to Allah? Be conscious of the feelings that come up for you. Make the intention of doing these things today, instead of waiting for a tomorrow that may never come. I want to leave you with one last image. The next time you pray, when you're standing for the first rak'ah of your prayer, remember that this position is a position given to human beings to stand on 2 feet, that Allah has honored you. But also remember that this honoring sometimes results in us being being arrogant. So as you bow to put your hands on your knees, watch the crowns of wealth and influence on your head fall. And as you stare at the space beneath your feet, between your feet, look at how small the space you occupy is. Look at how you can only see between your feet. How all spiritual progress begins right here with these 2 feet on the earth. And as you rise, this time not arrogantly, but remembering that Allah has blessed you and that you're a humble servant of His. And then when you go down to your first prostration and your head hits the earth, remember that you are just a creation of the dirt. And as your soul, as the breath of God was part into dirt, you rise in a sitting position. And so as you sit, notice the briefness of the sitting position in prayer. Then as you bow again back to the earth, remember that the one who comes from earth returns to earth. But the prayer isn't finished. Then you come out of the earth again, resurrected, and you must stand for the second rak'ah as a symbol that you must stand before Allah one day. So let us stand in a way that we were people who stood for mercy, for kindness, that we didn't spend our time debating all the time, but that we spent our time serving, that we didn't just cry for Fatima Zahra, but we emulated her bravery, that we didn't pound our chests for Hussein, but we lived in a way that stood up for those who were oppressed, that we stood up for the truth even if it made us uncomfortable. And with that, I would like to end with a prayer. O Allah, I pray that you help me remember that my time on this earth is short. My Lord, help me remember that any day could be my last. Allah, help me live every moment of my life in service to you and to those who are oppressed, needy, poor, and hopeless. My Lord, help me to apologize when I wrong others, to return what was entrusted with me, and to always be humble enough to take accountability for my mistakes. O Lord, I pray that my awareness of my impermanence inspires me to be more kind, generous, and forgiving to all people who are suffering and in need of love. Allah, remind me that this life is not the only life I have been given. Help me remember that my real life begins whenever you decide for me to leave this body behind. O Allah, you are the creator of the heavens and the earth. You are my guardian in this world and in the life to come. Make me die as one who is submitted to you and your will, and unite me with the righteous ones. In your eternal names I pray. Ameen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arzu. May Allah protect you, inshallah. Please recite a loud salawat for her health. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Our dear brother, Hajj.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم إلى يوم الدين. Tonight is the final night of our Fatimiyya programs. Tonight is the most important night because it is the martyrdom of Sayyidah Fatima Salamullah alayha. Once a person asked a scholar when they did ziyarat of the Ahlul Bayt and visited their shrines, they asked if going to the shrines of the Ahlul Bayt, is it himmat, meaning is it something that you strive to do, or is it qismat, meaning that it is your destiny? And I see the majalis of the Ahlul Bayt not very different than the ziyarat of the Ahlul Bayt, because this is a place, a house of mentioning their name and exalting their name. Therefore, there's not much difference than the ziyarat. So if we were to ask this question to ourselves, did we try to come here, or was it our destiny? Which answer would we give? The scholar actually said it's none of these two. He says actually da'avat, meaning that it is an invitation. So we are invited here for the martyrdom of Sayyidah Fatima, one of the greatest personalities in existence. And tonight we have to thank Allah that He has brought us here. And because we're going to mention tonight, mentioning her, remembering her, doing tawassul to her, brings us the closest to God. Therefore, cherish this night, remember this night, keep us in your du'as. We have many people that are sick, they asked for du'as. And ask Allah, of course, for the most important du'a, to give us a good ending to our lives. There's a tradition in Al-Kafi that a person comes to Imam Musa Kadhim alayhi salam, actually Imam Jawad alayhi salam, the 9th Imam, and he had a question from him. He asks, is it possible to do tawaf, to circle around the Kaaba, and to gift this to the Imams? It is allowed. So the person goes, Musa ibn Qasim comes after 3 years and comes back to Imam Jawad alayhi salam, says, I have done this. He said, the first day I did tawaf and I gave the gift to Rasulullah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam Jawad says, Sallallahu ala Rasulullah 3 times when he hears the name of the Prophet. And he says, for the second day, I did tawaf and I gave the gift to Imam Ali. On the 3rd day, I did it for Imam Hassan, 4th day, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Until the 10th day, I did this and I gave a gift to you, my Imam. Then he says something happened. And he says, وَرُبَّمَا أَطُفْتُ عَنْ أُمِّكَ فَاطِمَةَ وَرُبَّمَا لَمْ أَطُفْ. Sometimes I would do tawaf for her, sometimes I wouldn't. It wasn't as important for me as the other Imams. What do you think we would answer in such a case? So good brother, good job, mashallah, you did tawaf, good, you did it for the Ahlul Bayt. But Imam Jawad here corrects him and tells him actually that if you didn't take the ziyarat of and the giving a gift of the tawaf to Lady Fatima, he says, it is not right. فَقَالَ إِسْتَكْثِرْ مِنْ هَذَا, he says. Do this abundantly. Actually, you kind of left Fatima Zahra out, but do this abundantly. فَإِنَّهُ أَفْضَلُ مَا أَنْتَ عَامِلُهُ. Insha'Allah. So this is one of the narrations that sometimes we look at the hadith and it blows our minds away. Why is Sayyidah Fatima Salamullah alayha actions that are done for her, that are attributed to her more than the other Imams, than the Prophet of Islam? So tonight we're going to analyze this narration. they wanted me to mention in Farsi, even though I'm not a great Farsi speaker. But because there's many people that cannot understand English, and this program was also advertised to be a Farsi speech, so I'm going to say the story in Farsi, inshallah, and you can encourage me with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Of course, it's going to be much shorter and faster. در کتاب شریف الکافی یه روایتی هست از موسی بن قاسم که یکی از یاران امام جواد علیه السلام بودن. این یار امام جواد علیه السلام سوالی براشون پیش میاد و سوالشون اینه که آیا می شود طواف کرد و هدیه آن طواف را به امام داد؟ حضرت میفرمایند بله میشه. پس موسی بن قاسم میره مکه، طواف میکنه و برمیگرده بعد 3 سال. بعد 3 سال میگه که من طواف کردم روز اول برای رسول الله 3 بار. امام جواد علیه السلام میفرمایند صلی الله علی رسول الله. بعد روز دوم برای حضرت علی، روز سوم برای امام حسن، روز چهارم برای امام حسین علیه السلام. و بعضی موقع‌ها برای حضرت فاطمه زیارت می‌کردم، یعنی برای خدا و هدیه میدادم برای حضرت فاطمه. بعضی موقع‌ها انجام نمیدادن. که اینجا امام جواد علیه السلام یه جوابی میدن که این جواب سبب میشه که ما یک کمی ذهنمون باز میشه در مقام حضرت فاطمه. و میفرمایند که این کار استکثر من هذا، یعنی این کار رو زیاد انجام بده. یاد حضرت فاطمه باش. چون که این کار از اون کارهایی که قبلا انجام دادی، یعنی برای پیغمبر و برای ائمه علیهم السلام انجام دادی، ثوابش بیشتره. امشب میخوایم درباره این حدیث و چرا عبادات و توسلات که برای حضرت فاطمه سلام الله علیها انجام میدیم افضل، شاید افضل است از دیگران، از معصومین. یک صلوات بفرستید One of the reasons we can think of this tradition, that why did the Imam emphasize so much on Lady Fatima compared to the other Imams or the Holy Prophet of Islam? One is that Imam Jawad and the Imams did not want her to be erased from history, because her stance was so sharp, was so strong, that if anybody studies the life of Sayyidah Fatima, there is no way they can accept the government of the first Khalifa. There's no way. Therefore, they tried to erase her from history, because Fatimiyya disproves Khilafat. Look at the traditions. Look in the book of Al-Bukhari, one of the most important books from our Sunni brothers. In here, it says very clearly that she is, of course, the tradition, Sayyidatun Nisa al-Alameen, that she is the woman of the world, of the best women of the creation. Some of the tradition says Al-Jannah, the best lady in heaven. So keep this hadith in mind. Then it says that whoever doesn't know their Imam and dies without knowing the Imam of the age dies the death of ignorance. So keep that hadith too, and these are in Sahih narrations. So my question is this: if she is infallible, if she is the best of ladies, could she have made a mistake with choosing her Imam, yes or no? It's impossible, because she is whoever does not choose the Imam of the age dies as in the state of Jahiliyyah, as ignorant, in the stage of ignorance, which was the stage of polytheism. So she is the farthest away from polytheism. So what was her choice? And her choice is the most important choice, because she is the only offspring of the Holy Prophet of Islam. She is ma'asum. The ayat tathir, the verse purification verse, says that she is ma'asum, she is infallible. The Mubahila verse, when the Christians came to challenge the Holy Prophet of Islam in dua, instead of bringing women, he brought one lady. Nisa'una wa nisa'akum. He brought one lady to challenge in dua the Christians of Najran. Therefore, she is the farthest away from Jahiliyyah. And look at what she did. In Bukhari it says she got upset, فَغَضَبَتْ. She got angered, and she did not speak to him until she passed away. So one of the strongest facts that we have in history, that what should we do after the Prophet of Islam, is follow what Alayha did. I mentioned this once. I was in Hajj, and I mentioned this, and there was a debate I had, and this was actually 2 or 3 scholars from the Ahlul Sunnah, and I mentioned this hadith in Bukhari, all of these 3, this triangle, and he did not have an answer. He did not have an answer. There's no answer to this. Therefore, her stance is so sharp that she has to be erased from history. Therefore, the entire system crumbles. Then at the second time, then who should we follow? And you look at the traditions of Ghadir, you look at the verses of the Quran by Imam Ali, and the many different traditions. Please recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So first, she is a role model. She is teaching us. She is showing us the way. And therefore, they tried to eradicate her from history and change what they believed happened. 2, one of the other answers is that because she is a role model for us. Because the other imams said that Sayyidah Fatima is a role model for us, is a hujjat for us, is a proof for us. Imam Mahdi, Imam Hassan Askar, the traditions, that she is a role model for us. Therefore, to learn, to remember Sayyidah Fatima and do actions and give those actions as a gift to her, you are helping yourself become more Fatimi. We mentioned night 1 of the discussions. What were the decisions she made? What did she choose? She chose Allah's pleasure over people's pleasure. 40 people were around her house, but she knew that Allah's pleasure was with defending Imam Ali, therefore she gave her life for him. 2, she chose the world, she chose the hereafter, al-akhirat, over the world. She is a role model for us. And how the sister said tonight, that this world is a temporary world. This world is a darul ghurur. We'll mention this hadith inshallah tonight. That she chose the everlasting life. Would you rather choose 1, 2, 3 the number, or infinity? That is compared this world to the hereafter. Some say if you want to compare the hereafter in terms of time span to this world, it's like a blink of an eye. This world, how long does it take to blink? Compare that to our life. But then others say, actually, this is even wrong. Because anything compared to infinity is still 0. So she is a role model for us. She chose the oppressed over the oppressors we mentioned. She is a role model for us when it comes to marriage. That is said that she never upset Imam Ali, and Imam Ali never upset Sayyidah Fatima, salamullah alayha. She is a role model for us because it says that when Imam Ali alayhi salam married her and he was asked by the Holy Prophet of Islam, what do you think of Sayyidah Fatima? He says, Ni'mal awn ila ta'atillah, ala ta'atillah. She is the best helper to the obedience of God. How great must somebody be to help Imam Ali worship God? The same Imam Ali that does 1,000 units of prayer a night. That Sayyidah Fatima is helping Imam Ali obey Allah. That is the status of Sayyidah Fatima. Her ibadat is so high that she is helping Imam Ali alayhi salam. She is an awn. So we learn many lessons. We learn some stories that sometimes Imam Ali alayhi salam was in poverty. He did not have food. And for maybe 3 days he did not have food to eat and provide for his family. But here you see in the books of history that Sayyidah Fatima did not say anything to her husband. Sometimes today, if you don't bring the right color and clothing, or if you don't bring the right food or order the right food or something, you will be in big trouble by your spouse. But she did not have anything to eat for 3 days. And in the story it says, actually, Ali, if I had food, I would give it to you, even from her children. Because Ali ibn Abi Talib is the Imam of the age, and she understands that. So we have sometimes people ask, well, what about the Imams? Didn't they do dua and miraculous things can happen? That is for the position of Imamat. It is as if you have a special license plate. One of the scholars explained, you have a license plate that says for government purposes. Some of the wilayat that the Imams have and the du'as they do is for Imamat purposes. But when it comes to themselves, because sometimes hunger is good for them, sometimes poverty is good for them, this is the will of Allah and they accept that. Please recite another salawat ala Muhammad. We'll mention the third, inshallah, and that is maybe because the shafa'at and intercession of Sayyidah Fatima is one of the highest. Maybe that is what the Imam is trying to teach us. And that is why we're here tonight, to get help. Some of us in the Day of Judgment, we will have good grades. We'll be, thank you. We'll strive hard, but we'll say we'll be getting a C or B. We won't be getting a perfect score, because the perfect score belongs to the infallibles. Therefore, we need intercession to take those normal scores into perfect scores. Some of us are sinners, and maybe we are on the borderline, but we still need intercession for those bad scores to become average and to pass. Therefore, everyone needs intercession, because mizanul a'mal and the scale of actions is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Our salat is incomplete. Our fasting is incomplete. Our intentions are incomplete. So we need intercession to rise those good actions and to become excellent so that we can become with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. In this beautiful tradition, it says when Sayyidah Fatima enters and wants to enter heaven, and the eyes of mankind are lowered, there they ask her to enter, but she waits. She waits to enter heaven, it says in the hadith. It says, Jibreel will say, Ya Fatima, sali hajadak, what do you need before you enter heaven? What do you need? And she says, Ya Rabbi shi'ati. Didn't I mention for you the dua she did, one of the last du'as she did with her broken rib, her broken hand, and she cried and says, forgive the sins of my Shia, my followers. In heaven, before she enters in the traditions, it says that, what about my Shia? What about my followers? Then it says, Allah says, قَدْ غَفَرْتُ لَهُمْ, I have forgiven them because of Fatima. Then it says, Ya Rabbi Shi'ata Wuldi, what about the followers of my children, Hassan and Hussein? She says, Allah says, قَدْ غَفَرْتُ لَهُمْ. Then she says something even more higher than this, and says, Ya Rabbi Shi'ati Shi'ati. What about the followers of my followers? They might have not been direct followers of the Imams, but there may be people that they like the Shia, they follow the Shia. What about them? Then Allah says in this, that they will be with you in heaven. And then it says, فَيَوُدُّ يَوُدُّ الْخَلَائِقْ أَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا فَاطِمِيِّينَ. Everybody wishes on the Day of Judgment that they were attributed to Fatima Zahra, that they were Fatima. So when you look at this tradition, you can explain the hadith that maybe her power of intercession is higher than others, because she is a mother, and if you see, she prayed for us in the most difficult of times. But we'll end tonight's speech by asking, what does she want from us? And what lesson do you think? What does she want from us? We are here for her. But what do you think is one of our obligations towards her? What does she want from us? One of the things that I can think of that we see over and over in the narrations, over and over in the Quran, is that the Imams want us to base our lives off of intellect, off of thinking. They don't want us to live our lives based on impulses, urges. They don't want us to base our lives off of the nafs. They want us to use the aql and intellect. Actually, her daughter is called Aqila, from intellect of Bani Hashim, Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha. If you want to live a Fatimi life, it is a life that your actions, your harakat, your sakanat, it is all based off the intellect. That you choose, you think about the creation. When you look at Sayyidah Fatima Salamullah alayha, there's a beautiful story that, the migration was difficult. It was very dangerous for the Prophet of Islam. When he migrated from the 13th year of Hijri, and he wanted to go to Medina because the people of Medina accepted him. There, the Prophet of Islam secretly went, and then others followed, but the family of the Holy Prophet and some other families, Imam Ali alayhi salam was tasked with the duty of bringing them. And it is maybe about 300-400 miles from Medina to Mecca, from Mecca to Medina. And therefore it takes a few nights. So they're traveling. But how did Sayyidah Fatima live? How did she travel? She looked at the stars, of course. She looked at the vast deserts, the mountains. She looked at these are all ayat of Allah. If you think about it, every creation, everything created is a sign of God. So she saw all of this. She saw the mountains, she saw the valleys, she saw the sky, she saw the night, the stars. And then this verse came for her. Look at the tafsir of this verse. It's a very famous verse. It came for her and Imam Ali because they were thinking and contemplating about the creation of Allah. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. Those that are remembering Allah standing or sitting on their sides. وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And they are thinking of the creation of the heavens and the earth. And they say this sentence, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. Oh Allah, you have not created this in vain. This is the seerah and life of Sayyidah Fatima. That she is looking at the creation and saying, you did not create this in vain. There must be a purpose for all of this. Therefore, one of the most important embodiments of Tawheed and the unity of God is to live with the intellect, to observe and see everything, all these signs, and you ask yourself this question: is this all created in vain or not? Does this all have a purpose or not? If there is no hereafter, imagine everything vanishes after we die. This life will only be fulfilling our needs, fulfilling our hawa'ij. It is as if, one scholar said, you go to a gas station, you get gas, then you go on the road again, and then they ask you, where are you going again? I'm going to another gas station. You get gas again, then you go on the road again. He says, where are you going? I'm going to get another gas. Each need we have for us is a gas station. Therefore, if this world, if there's no hereafter, a destination, then the creation would be lagh and batil, would be in vain. We just lived a few lives, a few years. We lived a life that is pointless and we die. So if you want to differentiate between a Muslim lifestyle, a Fatimi lifestyle, and a non-Fatimi, a non-Muslim lifestyle, is one that is based on the intellect, one that is based on the realization that there is a God, one on the realization that there is a hereafter, and one that there is a goal and a purpose, that we're here to become close to God. It is a spiritual journey for us. And this is the greatest, maybe, difference from us and the way we live and others. That we think of the purpose of creation. We're reminded of the purpose of why we're here. We're reminded of where we will go. We're reminded of what our tasks are. In a beautiful tradition, the Prophet of Islam gives signs for us. How do you know if you use your aql? And we can gauge ourselves tonight. How much do you know if we use our aql and intellect or not? He says a person that uses their aql in this tradition, ألا وإن من علامات العقل التجافي عن دار الغرور. A person that has separated himself from the world of illusion. If you want to analyze yourself. See how much have you separated yourself from this world. Not that you don't try and you don't reach out for it in terms of taking care of what you need, but how much are you attached to it? How much are you thinking about this world? 2, وَالْأَنَابَ إِلَى دَارِ الْخُلُودِ, in returning to the everlasting life. وَتَزَوَّدُوا لِسُكْنَ الْقُبُورِ, and that you're thinking of the grave. وَتَأَهُّمْ لِيَوْمِ النُّشُورِ, and you prepare yourself for the day of judgment. This is an aqil person. Therefore, we see many people are crazy in this universe because they do not think of where they're going, what's happening. It's just a vicious cycle of needs, vicious cycle over and over, and they forget the whole point. So if we want to separate ourselves and live a Fatimi life like she did, one of the first steps is to think, to use the aql, and everything else will follow. In a tradition in Al-Kafi, once Adam alayhi salam was asked one of the first traditions, do you want to choose from these 3, aql, haya, or deen? Intellect, chastity, modesty, or religion? Which one do you want? Which one would we choose? Because we're speaking about it, that's why we say. Okay. Yeah. But some would say maybe religion, deen. Someone say haya. So, in this famous tradition, Adam chose aql and intellect. So then he told haya and chastity to go. He told deen to go. But then they said, no, we cannot go. Wherever there is aql, we must follow. Wherever there is aql, there is chastity, modesty. Wherever there is aql and intellect, there is deen and religion. Therefore, our aql teaches us, we call this aql nazari, and I'll say some Farsi inshallah soon, is aql nazari, meaning that we have a theoretical aql, and it comes, our intellect allows us to change our worldview. 2, we have a practical aql amali. And that aql tells us these things are bad, these things are ugly, these things are a disgrace, these things are shameful. Therefore we get haya. I'm going to mention this in Farsi and then inshallah we'll end. اگر میخوایم زندگی حضرت فاطمه سلام الله علیها رو در خودمون عمل کنیم، یکی از مهمترین ویژگی های زندگی حضرت فاطمه سلام الله علیها تفکر است و عقل. وقتی حضرت در هجرت بودن و نگاه میکردن به کوهها، به آسمانها، به ستاره ها و فکر میکردن آیه قرآن نازل میشود درباره که یه آیه خیلی معروفی هم هست که آنهایی که الذین یذکرون الله قیاما و قعودا و علی جنوبهم، اونایی که در خواب در بیداری وای میسن و میشینن، در آن زمان فکر میکنن درباره خدا و خلقت خدا، درباره خلقت خدا و میگوید خدایا این همه خلقت را برای باطل خلق نکردید، هدف هست در اینا. این میشود سیره فاطمی، یعنی که حضرت زندگیش مدام پر از تفکر و عقل بوده. اگر میخواین زندگی امروز بشری که از خدا دور شده و بیشترین تفاوت رو فکر کنید چی هست، این بیشترین جدایی این است که زندگی امروزه از تفکر دور است. یه کارهایی میکنن که آدم واقعا تعجب میکنه. مثلا میره گرند کانین سلفی میخواد از خودش بندازه و میفته پایین. این میشه چی؟ از عقل ندارن. یا میاد کل زندگیشو صرف یه چیزای باطل و بدون اینکه فکر کنه مبدأ کجاست، مقصد کجاست، هدف زندگی چیه. ما 2 تا عقل داریم، یه عقل عملی داریم، یه عقل نظری. عقل نظری به ما یاد میده که ما باید این حقایق عالم چی هست، آیا خداوند وجود دارد یا ندارد، این کار عقله. آیا آخرتی در کار است یا نیست، این کار عقله. عقل میگه که آره اشکال نداره کمی بیشتر فارسی، بعضی مطالب فارسی میگه انگلیسی نگفتی. عقل به ما یاد میده که موجودات یه برهان خیلی ساده عقلی. موجودات یا ضروری هن، یا ممکنن، یا محال. غیر از این تقسیم هیچ راهی دیگه نیست. تمام موجودات رو حساب کنید، یا ضروری هن، یعنی هیچ در اصل باید باشن، یا اینکه ممکنه یا باشن یا نباشن، یا محالن. خب اگر که محال باشه که وجود نداره. پس یا تمام موجودات یا ضروری هن یا ممکنن. اگر همه ممکن بودن و نیاز داشتن، پس از کجا وجود اومدن؟ حتما باید یه وجود ضروری و بی نیاز باشه که اونا رو بهشون وجود عطا کنه. پس عقل میفهمد که حتما توی تمام این ممکنات باید یه واجب الوجود، یه وجودی که هیچ نیازی به چیزی دیگه ندارد باشه. یا درباره آخرت عقل به ما یاد میده که اگر فقط زندگی همین رفع نیاز بوده، این خلاف حکمت هست و کار لغویه و در اصل هیچ ثمره این همه زندگی کردیم، این همه تلاش کردیم، همش پوچ بشه. عقل میگه که اینم پس حتما یه زندگی هست که فایده های این دنیا رو میبینیم. یا عقل به ما یاد میده که حتما یه زندگی دیگه هست که عدالت هست در اون زندگی. این همه مظلوم، این همه کشتن، این همه ظلم چی میشود؟ پس حتما یه دنیای دیگه هست که خداوند متعال که عادل هست و روایت هم هست ان لم انتقم من الظالم فانا الظالم. اگر من از ظالم انتقام نگیرم پس من ظالم هستم. چطور می شود حضرت علی، حضرت فاطمه انقدر مظلوم باشن ولی دنیای دیگه نباشه که اون ثمرات و اون اعمالشون رو نبینن؟ پس در اصل عقل ما به ما یاد میده که هم خداوند وجود داره، هم آخرتی هست و هم هدفی هست در این زندگی. عقل ما هم یاد میده به ما که بعضی کارها زشته. میگن عقل عملی. بعضی از کارهایی که نگاه میکنیم خود عقل میگه نیازی نیست کسی به ما یاد بده. پس مهمترین ویژگی زندگی حضرت فاطمه و فاطمی این است که ما زندگیمون رو عقلمون پیش ببریم. هم از اعتقاداتمون عقلانی باشه، هم رفتار ما عقلانی باشه. صلواتی ختم کن ان شاء الله. If you can dim the lights, we'll do some musibat of Layla Fatima Salamullah alayha. Tonight is the night that the heart of Imam Mahdi is burning. They remember the Ahlul Bayt. Imam Hassan alayhi salam, many years after the martyrdom of his mother, he is maybe only 7 years old, he remembered how they came and entered the home. He comes to Mughayra and says, "You are the one that hit my mother." So we are sure that the heart of Imam Zaman alayhi salam is hurt tonight. So therefore it's a night that we do Da'aya Hujjat, Da'ah of Imam Zaman. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وغائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمأتيه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Please take your seats. When you look at historical sources, the history about the Mazlumiyat and oppression of Lady Zahra is very high. One of the authors compiled historical notes and found that he found 33 sources that say the house of Zahra was burnt. The house that in the Quran it has fi buyutin adina Allah an turfa. There are homes that it is allowed to mention and exalt the names of Allah. This house was set on fire. 64 sources that she was hit. the daughter of the Holy Prophet, right after passing away of the Holy Prophet, she was hit. 24 sources that her ribs were broken. 2 sources that her eyes were injured. 34 sources that she was martyred, as in the tradition in Usul al-Kafi, Inna Fatimata Siddiqa Shahida, she is martyred. 74 narrations about Muhsin, unborn child being miscarried. I apologize, Imam Zaman. I know that mentioning these things is very heavy on you, and I am not worthy of mentioning the musibat of Sayyidah Fatima Salamullah alayha. When you look at Imam Ali, tonight is the night of Imam Ali. Tonight is the night that he's going to bury his wife Zahra. What is going through the mind of Imam Ali? در زندگی حضرت علی چی میگذره الان؟ در ذهن حضرت علی علیه السلام چی میگذره؟ امشب باید خداحافظی کنه با خانومش. امشب باید دفن کنه. همچین شبی باید خانومش رو دفن کنه، در حالی که هیچ کسی نفهمد، مخفیانه باشه. شاید بیشتر از 7 نفر نیستن الان. امام حسن، امام حسین، سلمان، مقداد، ابوذر، اینا اومدن یواشکی حضرت فاطمه دختر پیغمبر رو دفن کنن. حتی عباس که عموش هست اطلاع نداشت و مخفیانه بود. خودش فرمود که منو در شب دفن کنید، منو در شب کفن کنید و به هیچ کسی نگوید. One of the most difficult struggles of Imam Ali, if you look, what do you think was the greatest test of Imam Ali? Was it death, do you think? Imam Ali chased death. He said there's no difference if I go to death or if death comes to me, this is the same. Maybe we can say the biggest test of Imam Ali is this, Fatimiyya, that in front of him, they take away his Zahra. Allah has made the home a place of tranquility and says, وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّن بُيُوتِكُمْ سَكَنًا. Allah has made your home a place of tranquility. But what did they do to the home of Amir al-Mu'minin? Allah has made the night a place of rest. هُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ اللَّيْلَ لِتَسْكُنُوا فِيهَا. He has made the night a place where you can have tranquility, you can be calm. But what did they do? That Imam Ali says his nights remain sleepless after Zahra. أَمَّا حُزْنِي فَسَرْمَدْ. And my grief, it has no bounds. وَأَمَّا لَيْلِي فَمُسَحَّدَ وَأَمَّا لَيَالِي فَمُسَحَّدْ. My nights now have no more sleep. I am sleepless now. Allah has created the wife in the Quran. It says, لَتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you can have tranquility. But what did they do to Zahra Salamullah alayha? Imam Ali, each time he looked at her, it says in the traditions, humum and ahzan would be removed from him, he said, whenever I would see Zahra. But in such after Fatimiyya, they did something. The lady Fatima had to cover her hair, her face from Imam Ali, to hide the bruises that was received. Imam Ali is mentioned in the book of Amali Mufid. He says, وَاخْتُصِلَتْ الرَّهْرَى, that they have this ukhtusilat is with a sin, meaning to snatch away. They have snatched away, they have stolen Zahra from me. And on such a night that he's coming to bury Zahra Salamullah alayha, and he says, فَلَقَدْ اسْتُرْجَعَتِ الْوَدِيعَ. Now I have coming back to you, O Rasulullah, I am coming back to give the wadi'ah and the trust that I had. You trusted me with your daughter. I am coming back and sending her back to you. وَأُخَذَتِ الرَّهِينَ. And now it has the raheen that I have been given, it has been taken back to you. And then he says, certainly your daughter will inform me of your joining together. So ask her in detail. Ask her about the news that happened on her. And such a night, Imam Ali, finally, after, imagine, take yourselves to wherever she is. We do not know where she is. Just how the night of Qadr is not known for us. Her position is not known, and her grave also is not known. Wherever he is burying her, is it Baqi, is it the Rawda, is it her house? We do not know, but we know it's in Medina. He is coming to bury her. And finally, it says, the final steps, those that have you buried your loved ones, you know what I'm saying. فَلَمَّا نَقَضَ يَدَهُ مِنْ تُرَابِ الْقَبْرِ. And then he takes his hand from the dirt of the grave. حَاجَ بِهِ الْحُزْنُ. Huzn comes upon him and grief comes upon him. This is Amir al-Mu'mineen. فَأَرْسَلَ دَمُوعَهُ عَلَى خَدَّيْهِ. And his tears begin to fall on his cheeks. Sallallahu alayki ya Fatima az-Zahra. Sallallahu alayki ya Fatima az-Zahra. Sallallahu alayki ya Fatima. Ya Allah, we ask you, because of the honor of Lady Zahra on the night of the martyrdom of Lady Zahra, make our lives, inshallah, Fatimi. Give, inshallah, this blessing of protection and tawassul and intercession to all of us, inshallah. Ya Allah, we ask you, our children, our children's children, those that are being raised here and need the guidance and help of Az-Zahra to, inshallah, help them, inshallah. Ya Allah, we ask you, those that have passed away in our communities, to, inshallah, forgive their sins. Ya Allah, we ask you to become the aiders and supporters of Imam Mahdi and to expedite his return with his salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
علیه سلامتی یا سید عباس رضویان کجا حالی صلوات محبت بفرمایید. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. یا السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. السلام عليك يا سيدة نساء العالمين من الأولين السلام عليك أيتها الصديقة الشهيدة. السلام عليك أيتها المظلومة المغصوبة. السلام عليك أيتها المجتهدة المغهورة. السلام عليك يا فاطمة بنت رسول الله. فاطمیه ماه اندوها غم است، هرچه نالم در غم زهرا کم است. فاطمیه پیچش یاس است و بس، مظهر پاکی و احساس است و بس. خاتمیه بوی خون می آورد، بر دل عاشق جنون می آورد. دوباره فاطمه وضوی گریه بگیر و بیا که در روزه عزیز فاطمه با قامت خم آمده است. فقط شما نیستین این شبها آقا رو صدا میزنین. اصلا من و شما از صاحب روزه این شبا یاد گرفتیم. مرحوم علامه امینی میگه بی فاطمه زهرا بین در و دیوار 4 تا ناله زد. اولش باباشو صدا زد، بعد امیرالمؤمنین، بعد فزه، ناله بعدش صدا زد پسرم مهدی، پسرم مهدی. مادر امشب زینبت را ناز کن، چشم‌های بسته ات را باز کن. یا مکن مادر از این خانه سفر، یا که زینب را به همراهت ببر. قربون اون بدنی که مولا علی مثل چنین شبی شبان غسل و کفن کرد. من از شما عزیزان میپرسم آیا تا حالا دیده اید مردی همسرش را خودش دفن کند؟ شب تاریک دستور اینه که عزیزان من صداتون به گریه بلند نشه. هیچ هم و زمزمه ای نداشته باشین. از بقیه آقا امیرالمؤمنین که برگشتن، جنازه اصلی توی اون تابوتیه که خود بیبی فاطمه دستور دادن. توی حجره قبر فاطمه زهرا سلام الله آماده. جنازه را امیرالمؤمنین بغل کردن، رفتن پایین گذاشتن توی قبر. بدن همسر را که میخواهند دفن کنند، 2 محرم باید باشد، یکی بالای قبر یکی داخل قبر. امیرالمؤمنین فقط تنها محرم بیبی بود. فرمود وقتی بدن را سرازیر قبر کردم، دیدم 2 تا دست مثل دستهای پیامبر نمایان شد. همه این حرفا حرف داره، سخن داره، فقط یک کلامه. وقتی مولا آقا امیرالمؤمنین خواستن از قبر بیان بالا، زانوهای حضرت لرزید، دیگه توان نداره. همه زمین خورده های عالم یا علی میگن، حرکت میکنن. علی اونجا زمین خورد، هیچ کس نبوده. یه نگاهی کرد به بچه ها، نگاه عمیق به حسنش کرد، نگاه کرد چشماشو برگردون. یه نگاه به حسین کرد، چشماشو برگردون. یه نگاه به ام کلثوم کرد، چشماشو برگردون. همین که زینب و دید صدا زد زینبم بیا زیر بغل بابا رو بگیر. از اینجا وصل بشیم علقمه، دلم میخواد بریم کنار باب الهوائج ابوالفضل، انشاءالله حاجت روا از این مجلس بریم بیرون. علقمه هم همین اتفاق افتاد. متاسفانه 40 نفر نه 4000 نفر به یک نفر بودن، اما اون یک نفر عباسه، اون یک نفر پسر امیرالمؤمنینه. 4000 نفر رو کنده زانو همه هدف گرفتن عباسو. الله اکبر. اول دستهاشو زدن، وقتی بازوشو قطع کردن ابی عبدالله داره رجز میخونه تا این اتفاق افتاد. ابی عبدالله از اون ور میدان صدا زد انا ابن فاطمه، یعنی عباسم یادت نره، بازوی مادر منم تو کوچه ها زدم. تو مردی، تو پهلوانی، تو عباسی، اما مادر من یک زن 18 ساله بوده. مگه دستش چقدر توان داشته 40 نفر دورش حلقه بزنن. امام باقر فرمود سبب شهادت مادر ما همون ضربه های غلاف بود. یه جوری زد همه بگیم حسین جان، حسین جان. مدینه با غلاف زدن، کربلا هر کی هرچی داشت دور حسینش حلقه زده. فرقتم بالسیوم و فرقتم بالرما و فرقتم بالحجاره. امام باقر فرمودند جد ما رو به 5 وسیله کشتن. یه عده شمشیر زدن، یه عده تبر زدن، تیر زدن، یه عده نیزه زدن، یه عده سنگ زدن. دلها بسوزه، خدا میدونه تا قیامت نمیشه باور کرد یه تعدادیم و فرقتم بالخشب والعصا. پیرمردها هم با چوب و عصا می زدن. زندگی ما خزونه، علت گریه هامو کی میدونه. اون غمی که دلامونو سوزونده مصیبت مادر جوونه. اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها بعدد ما أحاط به علمه.